Okay, what I was going to do with illustrations was to cover some of the work that we're doing on authentication of plants that are coming into the trade, to just give you an overview of some of the real issues. For some of them who've seen me talk, I often show a slide that gives the numbers of samples that have come into Royal Botanic Gardens at Kew over the last few years, since 1999, to show the number we're dealing with. And these are from either from the trade or from sometimes practitioners that are wrong. And so we're dealing with about nearly 1,500 to 2,000 coming in a year, and about 23 of those are what's termed not fit for purpose. Either they're the wrong species, or they're an extract that doesn't contain the compounds associated with their proposed use. That partly, I think, reflects the lack of taxonomic knowledge out there, because who's taught taxonomy now? I mean, it's a dying discipline, and yet the interest in botanicals is increasing. Now, what we've also been doing at Kew is to go back to some of the historical collections, and I was going to show some slides and some old Materia Medica collections, which contain about 450 different standards that would have been used in the different pharmacies. And it's quite interesting to see that some of those were also wrong, so it's not new. But we don't know at times when they were replaced, whether they're the original ones or they've got replaced in time. But it's fascinating to see some of the substitutes that were coming in now, to some of the substitutes or adulterants that we now have. Some of them the same, others are different. But it gives you an indication on the development of medicines over time and the influence of plants from different parts of Asia and from Africa and South America on the kind of the European pharmacopoeia. The other aspect I was going to just talk about, some of the challenges that we're facing with identification of plants from different parts of the world. Well, it's easier on traditional Chinese medicines, many challenges, but actually it's easier because there's a lot of documentation around. So you can go back over the historical data to look at the different names and the different processing associated with the material when you're trying to do quality control. There's a lot of information out there. Whereas if you're dealing with traditional medicines and plants used in parts of Africa, that's a big challenge, because there it's more of an oral tradition. So you've got less of a documentation with regard to what are the substitutes, where are the plants coming from, where have historically they've come from, how they've been processed.